And you know, that we're more than just a regular barbershop down here.
Yes.
The outwork barbershops is all about the money. They don't really care about the customer in, out, whatever. But this is a family-based joint here. Once I left the school, I told them I needed a job. They said, where at? I said, I don't care. The first thing they did, they went to the Rolodex and they found out a spot on Livingston and Nevins. I was down there for a few years and I moved over here about 5 years ago once that shop was closed. So I've been in downtown Brooklyn ever since I came home and then I had left the barber school. Don't know nothing about Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? But wherever, listen, anything that keep me out of prison, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
They can open up a barbershop for the moon that I'll be there.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. And you know, it's amazing because I remember coming to the barbershops and stuff like that, getting you know, different hairstyles and stuff. Me and my boy Dave back in the days, we used to get what they call the music notes in the back, because I play piano for over 20 years now, you know? And the barber that used to do it, he realized that my boy David and I would always compete. So he's like, okay, well, you know, Dave, I gave him that, so down I'm gonna give you this, you know? And let me ask you, have there ever been a haircut that somebody asked for that have been a bit challenging? And if yes, how did you go about pulling it off? You know? I always wanted to know about that, Bob. I wanted to know, you know?
I had a brother come in. He said he wants a Chris Brown haircut.
Oh my God.
Chris Brown been out, what, 20 years, different haircuts? But he looks more like Flavor Flav. It wasn't feasible, but I did what I can. But you know what I mean? He asked for a haircut. It didn't really fit him, but you know, customers always right, even when they wrong. So you know, you can do what you can do, but we're not miracle makers or whatever, such and such, I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and first I had to ask him, which Chris Brown? Show me a picture. Because Chris Brown been out how long? He had 100 million haircuts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, sometimes people come in and they ask for stuff that don't really fit them. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, whatever. But, you know, this is customer service. The customer is always going to be right, even when they're wrong.
Absolutely. Now, you know, being a, you know, a hairstylist, a perfectionist, and a professional, you know, such as yourself, you know, a couple people here, I would like to think that most barbers would have to some degree be artists, right? And know how to draw, to get straight lines and stuff like that. Have you started out in artistry? Have you been an artist?
Well, you know, I was the kid that couldn't draw a straight line to save my life. You know what I'm saying? But I learned, you know what I'm saying? Now, anybody that ride on the trains, graffiti artists, painters, people that just mow lawns, their eyes see things differently than me. So I would draw stuff on stuff with, like, I have to cheat. I have a little white eyeliner.
You're like me.
And then I got to cheat a little bit and go, you know, whatever.
There you go.
But brothers like this guy right here, he just look at it and just do it. I get mad, you know what I'm saying? You know, but we are artists. We are.
Absolutely.
But more than that, we are professionals.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and again, it shows that not only are you an artist, not only are you a professional, but you have a love, you know, for this. You know, you have to have a love. Not only for this, but you have to have a love for people at the same time too, you know, and to, you know, you carefully handle them like as though it's your own head that you're dealing with, you know.
Absolutely, because I don't want somebody doing something to me that I wouldn't do on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I'm a professional before anything. I sanitize the chairs, I clean the capes, I do all that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody putting no dirty cape on me, and that's the, you know, that's where the professionalism come in. You can be the greatest barber, but if you're not clean or dealing with sanitation and you know, that we work something that we can pass diseases from somebody, whatever, the viruses, the bacteria, whatever. So that way, that professionalism come in at. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I always say people should be licensed, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know some brothers, they not licensed, they a beast cutting hair, but they don't clean off nothing. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
bumps are developed.
And then since the pandemic, it's even worse. Prior to the pandemic, that was one of the main things, cleanliness. Disinfect your stuff, you know?
Well, you know, on our podcast, we oftentimes say this phrase, we always say that, you know, success is not you making it to the top per se. You know, success is your journey. You know, and if you don't have a journey, you don't have success. And so with that being said, what was your biggest failure, right? And how, whatever you consider to be failure and or shortcoming, right? And how did that set you up for success today?
Okay, I grew up in an era where you had to react violently off a lot of things, and you know, somebody bump into you to certain words or whatever, such and such. But you know, once I got out, and I'm here now.
Yeah.
I know that was one of my biggest things. Right now, people talk crazy to people. They say crazy stuff. There's no respect.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest issues out here because I can't react the way out here that I did inside. You know what I'm saying? That I knew what to do if somebody violated or disrespect you, whatever.
Right.
But here, and that was the biggest things, and especially with the youth right now, the words that come out their mouth, you know what I'm saying?
God.
Dealing with that, like sometimes they say stuff to me and I'm looking at them like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But then I have to give them a pass and be thinking that I don't want to go back to jail.
Yeah, there you go.
So, you know, sometimes I have to just laugh and just whatever, or just, you know, or try to talk to them, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so that was one of my biggest things. And then once I got past that, then I realized that, you know, the rest of this is easy.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, because I do not want to wake up in prison no more.
I feel you.
I can't do no more.
Yeah.
You know, I'm almost 60. Did I
You
be
don't look
50?
60 nothing, bro. Get out.
I'm
Almost 60.
56. I forget how old I am right now. I'm 56.
Well, that's because you're never gonna grow old, bro. That's what that is. You know, what kind of advice do you have any of the millennials that will sit in your chair today? And if so, have you ever gotten to the point where you had to give advice to them, and what kind of advice was that?
Well, actually, where I work at, Monday through Friday, Good Shepherds, they hired me for that reason because, you know, it's a program for at-risk kids. They might be mandated by the courts and whatever, and they tell them that if they do a program for 3-4 months, they don't have to go to jail.
Gotcha.
So that's the majority of people that I actually have to teach over in Good Shepherds.
Gotcha.
And they hired me for that reason, only because I was one of them, and I could identify with
There we
them.
go.
You know what I'm saying? That if you've never been locked up before or don't really know the goings, whatever, you tell a kid, don't get locked up. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at you funny. You know what I'm saying? But for a person that actually did time before, you know what I'm saying, that's the ones that they would listen if they choose to listen, because sometimes they still don't listen. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why is because I could identify with them because I was one of them. You know, just being angry, young, bullied, coming up in an era where you had to fight, just coming out for everything, whatever. So I could talk to them. And I don't really tell them, like, don't, you know, that I found out that you can't tell them don't sell drugs, don't bang, they're not gonna listen. I tell them what they're facing when they actually get locked up. I'm gonna tell them the truth, that I don't sugarcoat it. I'll tell them what they expect. That if they 15 years old, I'll tell them, well, you can do 25, they look at me, well, no, 25, 30, you be 40 physically. And they look at me like, oh, you know, because I tell them the truth. Like, you know, Mr. Johnson, we'll turn this way for a second. So, you know, so talking to them like that, and, you know, they like me because I give it up raw. You know, I be like, yo, listen, you know, they did it to me, they could do it to you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's, you know, and it's a blessing though. You won't reach them all, but if I just reach one,
there you go.
That's all, just one person.
Man, that's dope, man. That's a blessing in disguise, man. A blessing all by itself to be able to have someone, you know what I'm saying, who have a heart to say, you know what, I still have hope. You know, that somebody's gonna listen one day and it's gonna reach somebody, you know? And just like sometimes we feel like we're not gonna reach anybody, we reach a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We reach a lot, bro. And
But
so,
I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Talking to them, it's hard. We're separated by different generations and the terminology and you know, whatever, but somebody has to do it.
Somebody's gotta do it, bro.